It all started with an ominous letter slid under my ranch's gate one morning. The envelope was crisp, official-looking, and bore the unmistakable logo of our HOA. I tore it open, expecting yet another trivial notice about grass height, mailbox color, or some other ridiculous regulation. Instead, my eyes widened as I read the accusation. Karen, the notorious HOA enforcer, had decided to sue me over my own property. The claim was audacious, bordering on delusional. Karen argued that my ranch was somehow violating HOA covenants, citing vague complaints about unauthorized structures and potential nuisances. The letter practically dripped with self-importance, a thinly veiled declaration of power by someone who clearly believed they could control the lives of everyone around them. I couldn't help but laugh. After all, I wasn't just any property owner. I was a retired lawyer, well-versed in litigation, property law, and, most importantly, how to dismantle baseless claims. Rather than respond immediately, I decided to observe Karen's next moves. I had a feeling she would escalate, probably showing up at the ranch with a clipboard, ready to lecture me on my supposed violations. Sure enough, the following week, she appeared, her usual blend of self-righteous fury and obliviousness fully on display. I watched from the porch, my arms crossed, as she strutted along the fence line, taking photos, making notes, and muttering about HOA rules. I let her finish her little parade before stepping out. "Karen," I said calmly, my voice echoing across the pasture, "it seems you've taken quite an interest in my property." Her head snapped toward me, eyes narrowing. "This ranch is violating the HOA covenants. I'm filing a lawsuit," she declared, her tone filled with the certainty of someone who had never met an actual lawyer. I smiled, letting her words hang in the air. "Karen," I replied, "I think you may have underestimated me." She blinked, confusion flickering across her face. I walked toward her, producing a stack of documents neatly organized in a leather binder. "You see, not only am I familiar with the law, but I am very familiar with HOA bylaws, and yours are rather lacking in legal teeth when it comes to private property. Your claims? Baseless." Her expression shifted from indignation to panic as I began citing specific legal statutes, precedent cases, and loopholes in HOA authority. I could see her confidence crumbling with each sentence, like a house of cards in a windstorm. By the time I finished, she was pale, clutching her clipboard as if it were a lifeline. But I wasn't done. Oh no, I had a little more fun in store. I informed her that I had already prepared a counterclaim for harassment and frivolous litigation, an action that could have significant financial consequences. Karen stammered, trying to assert herself, but each argument she made only reinforced her lack of credibility. It became painfully clear that she had no idea who she was dealing with. The next phase was procedural. I filed my counterclaim, attaching every piece of evidence: photos, videos, copies of HOA documents, and my detailed notes from every interaction with Karen. The HOA's board received a copy, and the reaction was instantaneous. Emails flew, meetings were called, and whispers about Karen's overreach reached every corner of the neighborhood. The once powerful HOA enforcer was suddenly a liability, a headache the board couldn't ignore. When the court date arrived, Karen looked like a deer caught in headlights. Her confident assertions had vanished, replaced by hesitancy, stumbling, and obvious fear. I presented my case methodically, demonstrating that her lawsuit was not only baseless but frivolous. By the end, the judge dismissed her claim outright and awarded costs against her personally. The aftermath was sweet. Karen had overplayed her hand, thinking she could intimidate a retired lawyer into submission. Instead, she became a cautionary tale, her reputation tarnished, her credibility in shreds. The HOA quietly reassigned her duties, and she was told in no uncertain terms that further attempts to harass residents could lead to formal disciplinary action. I returned to my ranch that evening, sipping coffee on the porch, surveying my peaceful land. It was a victory not just of law, but of patience, planning, and a calm mind under pressure. Karen had attempted to bully and intimidate, but she had underestimated the resolve and expertise of someone who knew exactly how to fight back. And in the quiet of the ranch, I couldn't help but smile, knowing that my property, my peace, and my authority were fully intact, and that Karen had learned, in the most public and undeniable way possible, that some battles are not hers to fight,